What's up guys? I'm Dr. Lindsay Butzer, a small animal veterinarian, and today I made a video for you guys to help pet owners understand when it's time to put their pets to sleep. So this is a really common question that I get on my YouTube channel, my Instagram and TikTok. A lot of pet owners message me asking, when is it time for me to put my pet to sleep? So in this video, I'm going to address that and give you some examples to let you know when it's time. So one thing that we're really not taught is how an animal passes away. So for each animal, it's different. So we'd like to think that they just curl up in a ball and go to sleep and slowly pass away and cross over that rainbow bridge, but it's not always like that. A lot of pets, it takes a few days or even a week to pass away, and they may be suffering. So what an animal normally starts to do is they use their instincts. So they'll start to hide under a bed or go in a closet, and that's because they're vulnerable, right? So they're getting skinny, weak, they can't move as fast to protect themselves. So that's when an owner normally starts to realize, okay, my pet's not doing really well, they're sick, their quality of life is declining, they don't want to play, and these are all things we're going to talk about in this video. But when an animal is doing these things in hiding, that is normally a time when owners kind of get the hint that it's time to put them to sleep. Okay, so before I get into those end-of-life examples, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about myself. So maybe you've been here on my channel for a few years now. I started my channel about 4 years ago, and I grew up with a dad who's a veterinarian. So when I was a little girl, I would watch my dad do surgeries at night, take care of pets, come in on his days off and give pets medications and check their IVs. And then I also experienced him put animals to sleep. So this was something that he explained to me was a circle of life. Ever since I was a little girl, I would see animals come in with their owners, and then as they would get older and I would get older, I would see those clients and their pets and my dad putting those pets to sleep. So this was just something that I grew up with, and it was just something I embraced as a part of life for dogs and cats, and really understanding how much those animals are part of a family and how much they meant to owners. So that's kind of my background on animals, and how I got into being a veterinarian was by being inspired by my dad. And then a huge life event happened to me in 2019. I was diagnosed with leukemia only 2 years after working as a veterinarian. So I went through 5 rounds of chemotherapy. I went completely bald. So my hair right now is grown out from 3 years, which I'm super proud of. During that time, I learned so much about what it means to be alive and what life means. And what for me, I really learned that it's being with your friends, your family, and your loved ones, and being able to be present and making memories with them and feeling good and feeling happy. So that's the same thing for our pets. We want to keep them going as long as possible, but we also want to make sure that they're having a good time and they're comfortable and they're clean. So let's get into those quality of life things, and I'll give you guys examples. So you definitely landed on this video because you're trying to make a decision about when to put your dog to sleep. So I just want to remind you, the dog's lifespan is about 8 years old for those large, big, bony dog breeds, and then around 20 years old for those Chihuahuas or those Jack Russells and those little toy breed dogs. And then for cats, their lifespan is around 8 years old, up to 20 to 25 years old in some cats. Animals just don't live as long as we would like them to, so you need to take that into consideration when you're thinking about their quality of life. I'm going to give you guys 3 end-of-life scenarios, and they each have their own indicators that you guys can discuss with your veterinarian to know when it's time. Number 1 is if your pet is sick from an end-stage disease or an inoperable tumor or cancers. And this can happen to pets when they're young and old, so I don't want to single out any pet based on age. You have to work with your veterinarian to determine how sick your pet is. For example, if a pet has severe kidney disease, liver disease, or a cancer that is inoperable, these diseases make pets feel really sick, weak, they lose weight, or even start to vomit, and their quality of life begins to decline. Heart disease is another one where patients that have severe heart disease have muscle wasting, fluid builds up in their chest and even in their abdomen, and the medications they're on can cause their kidneys to start to fail, and at that point, owners may choose to put them to sleep. If they have an inoperable tumor, such as a giant bleeding sarcoma on their limbs or on their spleen or liver that cannot be cured, owners may also decide it's time to put them to sleep. Number 2 is old age and dementia. So dogs will get something called sundowner syndrome, and cats can get this too, where they wander aimlessly throughout the night, they can't rest, they're pacing all night long, and some of these dogs even start to howl. Owners will also explain to me that they don't think the dog knows who they are anymore. And at this time, we've tried so many sedatives and nothing is working for these pets, and owners decide to humanely put them to sleep. When it comes to old age, pets may not be able to get up and walk due to severe arthritis or a deteriorating muscle, which causes them to be too weak to stand up. This can cause them to urinate and defecate on themselves, causing them to have urine scalding or poop clumps on them, which is not comfortable for them or us. They also may stop eating and drinking and start to become really anorexic, and their bones are protruding, which progresses to them having an inability to walk and again, urine scalding and pooping on themselves. When their eyes also start to sink into their head and they look dehydrated, owners can look into their own pet's eyes and know that it's simply time. I will treat a pet as long as possible, but when I do start to see them coming in with urine scalding and poop on them, and they just aren't comfortable or clean, the owner and myself both know that it's time for that pet to cross over that rainbow bridge. Number 3 is if your pet has gotten into an accident, such as a car accident, had a heat stroke incident, or ingested a toxic substance such as rat bait or ethylene glycol, which can make your pet suffer due to organ failures. So these are times where it could be really hard because that pet may still be young, but you and your veterinarian will discuss that the pet is in fact suffering, and you'll have to put them to sleep for these reasons. So as you can see, deciding when to put your pet to sleep is a really hard decision to make. A lot of pet owners are even afraid to talk to their veterinarian about it because they don't want to hear it from their veterinarian, they don't want to hear the truth, and they're not ready to let go of their pet. Who is ready? I'm never ready, no one is ever ready. This is one of the hardest decisions to make. And a lot of times my pet owners come to me and they're already tearing up asking these questions. So I'm really happy that I have this platform where I can make these videos for you guys so you can listen to me and digest it on your own time and your own pace from the comfort of your home before you go and talk to your own veterinarian about it. So before I end this video, I want to tell you guys the process of putting your pet to sleep, because I feel like when I explain this to my pet owners, they kind of take a deep breath and they understand what's going to happen next. Because when they don't know about putting their pet to sleep or how the process works, I think they're more scared in their mind. And when I tell them about it, they kind of relax a little bit and we can prepare together for this. So your veterinarian is most likely going to put a catheter into your pet, which is an IV line for them to administer medication. A lot of times I also give a sedative, which can be an injection into their muscle that helps them relax. So putting them to sleep is a painless process and it's a really fast process. So that's why I always want pet owners to be prepared mentally before putting their pet to sleep. I don't like to rush anything. So they're gonna give them a sedative, which puts them all the way under anesthesia, and then they give them a second injection, which slowly stops their heart and puts the pet to sleep. So it's super quick, super painless, and that's exactly how we put pets to sleep in veterinary medicine. And then you can also talk to your vet about getting ashes back, or what type of cremation you want, or if you bury your pet in your backyard. It's not always legal in every area, so you have to find that out before you do something like that. That's the process that most pet owners go through when they put their pets to sleep. All right guys, I know this was a really heavy video, but it's a super important one for pet owners out there who need to get through this hard time. If you guys are going through this right now and you have more questions or concerns, please feel free to message me on any of my platforms. I'd be happy to chat with you and answer those questions. And if you have someone else going through this, please share this video with them so they can watch it and have a better understanding of the process of putting their pet to sleep. And also remember that veterinarians, we're humans too. So we take this really hard when we have to put animals to sleep. I know one of my other doctors, he goes in the bathroom and splashes water on his face and he's ruined for the next hour after all these things. And even myself, it's really hard on me. I go home and I'm really sad for these patients that I saw as a puppy grow all the way up until an older dog, or if something happens to any of my patients, it's really traumatic for us too, but we're here to be with you, to be strong together and get through it and help you guys with your pets. So like always, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you guys next week.